for the video is Specialized Aethos. Lightweight. It's a lightweight bike from Special. Where do we even start with this one? $12,000. $12,000 for a frame made in China. Crazy. Specialized Aethos. $14,000 for the Founders Model. The Founders Model gives you, correct me if I'm wrong, if any information in this video is wrong, something specialized, please DM me. I know you guys are watching content. It is insane. $14,000 for the Founders Edition, made in China. The frame, made in China. The rims, made in China. The one-piece integrated bar. What if you want longer stem or wider bars, or like all that faff? Made in China, one-piece stuff. Drop shipping. Specialized now, drop shipping that bike here in Australia. It's Chinese made carbon. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Chinese make some good stuff. No, it's not durianrider. It's made in Taiwan. Frames made in China. Shipped to Taiwan to lower punitive tariffs. Then shipped Australia, Europe, USA, other Asian markets. If I'm wrong with that, someone specialized say, actually, Mr. Johnston, it's incorrect. Specialized S-Works Aethos, made in China. The SL7, made in China. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. But the markup, my frames come from China. My Pragma frames come from China. I can't say which factory because I might get in trouble. But, oh my God. Knowing what I know now, importing frames and stuff like that, writing these frames that I get, I would never ever buy a brand new brand name bike ever again. 99.9% sure of that. Exception could be if I was on holiday, my bike got stolen, I needed a bike, and I'd walk in and go buy a bike from a shop. No worries. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't support the big brands. They make some great bikes, they make some great products. I'm just saying the prices they charge. People say it's all in the design, durianrider. It's all in the design and product R&D. Most of this stuff's designed by the Chinese and engineered by the Chinese. How do you think all these big brands, Trek, Cannondale, Specialized especially, are the Apple of the cycling world? How do you think they afford all the lawyers, the trademark people, the parties, the strippers, all the fun stuff and the not so fun stuff, the sponsoring teams, marketing. Look at this, how much money do you think Specialized has dropped just on YouTubers, and social media? Everywhere you go, every feed, Specialized Aethos. That ain't cheap, man. That ain't cheap. Everyone's getting a kickback. Ting. That costs money. And so you think that these frames cost a lot of money to produce? I'm saying, in my opinion, from what I know, I would say max $150, $200 to produce a frame set. With the buying power they have and the pull they have, these big brands, yeah, bulk, mass produced, mass painted, logistics, no worries, Fantastic. So they private jets, launches, just like flying people from Cycling Tips for these paid reviews, all like zigzagging across, like that's just business, man. So if you think that, this bike does have, it's like, and then they sell it to a wholesaler sell it to the shop's got to make money. They got to pay for staff and rent and lawyers and all that. You know what I mean? So if you took the end product, everyone gets a cut. It's like cocaine. It's pennies to make. Everyone gets a cut. The price goes up. Simple as that. But now, it's insane. That's even someone said Canyon's made in Koblenz, Germany. Koblenz, Deutschland. It ain't, man. It's made in China, bro. It's made in China, shipped over into Koblenz and assembled, parts put on, blah, 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 shipped out. It's not, your Canyon Aero disc ain't made in Koblenz, Germany, bro. It might be put in the box in Koblenz, but that frame, my friend, is Chinese-made carbon. Those rims from DT Swiss, etc., Chinese carbon. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Just saying. Don't be so gullible. And don't be, you're wrong. You don't have to agree with me, but you're still going to be wrong. And if I'm wrong, someone from these companies can say, hey, Holly, that's actually incorrect. But they don't, because what I'm saying is the fact. And I'll be the first one to put my hand up and say, hey, guys, what? I did a video the other day. I was wrong. I'm the first person to admit I'm wrong. One of the secrets in life to have a good life, an easy life, is to own when you make a mistake. But hey, you know what? I was wrong. I'm sorry. How can I make it better? That's the freedom life right there. Let's get to, this is all first world problems. We're talking about how much Specialized make on a Chinese made carbon, but this is all first world problems. So if you're still watching, you're probably a bike geek as well. The pros on this bike, fantastic. It's almost like a Pragma Glycogen, the bike that I ride and sell, you know? Bias, yeah. It's the bike that I would buy. It's the bike that I would design if I worked at Specialized. You know, it looks like a Peter Denk design, Addict, Evo, etc. Just simple. It's got 27 two-seat post for a win. It's got a standard seat clamp for a win. It's got a BSA bottom bracket for the win. It's got a standard, it's not a standard fork, it's proprietary fork. They've drilled out the bottom of the fork tip for the EPS bag to go more down to save 12 grams. Damn. So they've almost got it good, right? So they've got proprietary fork, but it's got a pretty standard sort of housing it looks like. So if you do snap it, you might be able to just, you know, put a Merida fork or a Cannondale fork or a top key fork in there with no worries. Hopefully. I'm not 100% sure. But it does have just a standard stem, standard bars, no worries. Fantastic. You know, minimal internal cabinets, only electronic mount. Don't like that. I do like electronic. I do like cable. I think customers should have the option. But I get it. The person who's buying an 18,000 Aussie dollar Chinese-made carbon bike is an absolute noob when it comes to tech, and they don't work on their bikes. They just give it to the bike shop, pay them, whatever. And good, the bike shops love it because it's money coming in, pay the rent, pay the bills. I get it, it's business. So the reviews I give you here aren't to throw shade at the bike industry, which I love and hate. It's not about that at all. It's to give the educated audience out there the truth that you won't get at Cycling Tips or Cycling News or blah, 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 whoever's, because they're paid reviewers, and I understand that. Even Kaylee Fretz from Cycling Tips the other day, he swore at me and called me a troll. I was like, these guys have to be so professional. They would suck to be them in that job. They have to be so professional, can't let your hair down, can't really say what you really feel. You've got angry Asian James Huang, and he says some good things here and there, but you can tell he thinks his bike's an absolute joke. He's just like, well, yeah, you know, you disc brakes on a weight weenie road bike? Like, I've been racing for 23 years. I don't need disc brakes on my road bike. Now, that might sound a bit arrogant, but my girlfriend, even Natasha, she does a bit of racing here and there. She doesn't need disc brakes on the road bike. She's got the choice. Well, we want disc or rim. She's like, give me a rim. Love a good rim job, you know what I mean? So it's just choices. But Specialized doesn't give the choice to the team-sponsored riders. They're like, we're going to market disc, we're going to change the industry, and they did that. So your lightweight wheels, rim brake are worth nothing now, and that's good for me and the rim brake lovers, because we're just like cleaning them up. But it is insane. So this bike claimed weight 600 grams. I call BS on that. The sample frame that they gave James from Cycling Tips, quote, 617 grams in their scales. That's pretty close, 600 grams. Well, 585. But it's about 5% off. But again, it's a sample frame. Every single frame. Let's say you go through the factory, right? You pull 1,000 frames off the line before you paint them. Or let's say you paint them the same color. Everything's the same. You got 1,000 finished frames just sitting there. And you weigh them all. There could be up to 150 grams difference in weight. Fact. Right? So my frame's like 594 grams. I saw it in the magazine. No, it's not, dude. It might be less. It might be a lot more. Okay? So people even people say, the SL7 is 6.8 kilos out of the box Harley, like, it's UCI, like, yeah. That's without pedals, without power meter, or maybe without two bottle cages, your transponder and your your GPS mount, and that's at 7.3, 7.4, with carbon tubulars. You know, like, people just, they swallow that Kool-Aid so much. Now, I drink Kool-Aid, full sugar. But, like, please, people, learn how to be objective. And when I come along and tell you something, no, that doesn't follow the social narrative, Specialized or Trek or Canyon fed me. Man, I've been in this game a long time, all right? Racing with number on my back or street racing, whatever you want to call it, just getting a racing done. And in racing, you learn what is good product and what is crap. I would never, ever buy an aero disc brake bike. I mean, I have an aero bike, I hardly ride it because the thing's heavy. It's heavy. It's like 7.5 kilo. Well, I've got a 6.6 kilo Pragma Glycogen with my name on it, ready to rip it up. Like, why would I ride a 7.5 kilo aero bike? I'm going to have a super lightweight climbing bike. Why would I do that? Okay, so we've got two wheels here. We've got the wheel here. This is a Mavic Cerium and a lightweight. You know, we've got about 150 grams difference. But the price of these lightweights, these are dentist wheels, barrister wheels, surgeon wheels, pretentious YouTuber person like me wheels. You know, they're nice to ride. These are just as good, really. Braking surface is fantastic. The rear hub cassette, freeway, Mavic, what have you done? Yeah. I'm 43. Middle age crisis going on right now. My girlfriend's half my age. I get frustrated at Specialized adverts now. You know, like I'm getting that middle-age crisis going on. I'm a middle-aged mammal. A middle-aged man in Lycra. And it roasts my boat, my little vegan boat, when I see these noobs out there who've never raced or done minimal racing, or they've owned one bike or two bikes. I've ridden hundreds of bikes out there. I've owned... How many road bikes have I owned in the last 23 years road racing? Man. Is it 100? I don't know. It's got to be a lot of bikes I've owned. And by owning, I mean ridden and thrashed. Not just like bought it and ridden it for a day and passed it on. I've ridden even more than that. Way more than that. And the sub 7 kilo rim brake bike, nothing compares to that feel. Aero bikes suck. When it's windy, deep dish wheel, blown all over the place. I've got zips, I've got lightweights, I've got envies, I've got YOLOs, I've got fast. I've got all the wheels. I've ridden all the wheels. Deep dish wheels is not aero. Outside, on the track, yeah. On a calm day crit, straight white, yeah. You know, when it's windy, crosswind, you know what I mean? I've got mad experience on the bike. I've never had a driver's license. Riding an aero bike in here in Adelaide when it's windy, it's like, why would I want to do that? It's not enjoyable as much as a sub 7 kilo bike with shallow rim. It's night and day. Night and day. That's why my envies and stuff was brand new, because I don't like riding them. You know, it's like, what's the point? What's the point? You know? Good for Instagram photos though. Again, this is the first world problems here. But it just frustrates me to people that they buy these bikes and they hardly ride them. I don't really like cycling that much. Your bike sucks. Your bike sucks. I wouldn't want to ride it either on the road. It's heavy. It's clunky. It's like, no, harsh. It sucks. Get a sub 7 kilo rim brake bike if you really want to feel the essence of road cycling. Right? Makes such a difference. Now, you might be on a Trekker Monda ALR, fantastic bike, and that's going to give you a pretty good feel under 8 kilos, you know? Before that full-on manic, bipolar, schizophrenic, EPO vibe, get your sub 7 kilo rim brake bike and thank me later. Thank me later. All right? They're the best, man. They're the best. All right? That's why I sell them. That's why I ride them. All right? I can afford anything. But I won't put my name to junk where you have to have a hammer to put the bottom bracket in. I do sell an aero bike for people who want one. But I tell them, you know, it's not going to be as good a ride as a Pragma glycogen. Or maybe it wasn't designed to put wind. None of these aero bikes ride nice. The Venge, the latest Venge, rides like a burnt potato. I've ridden one before and I'm like, what is this junk? What is this? This is like an Amazon frame. It is absolute junk in my experience, in my opinion. I'm just like, riding this is a what? This is an S-Works Venge, the latest one. This is absolute junk. I would not be motivated to ride that bike at all. You know, unless you're like full narcissist noob and you want to be on the latest and greatest and have the envy of the other noobs who don't understand what a good bike is and what a narcissistic junk bike is. You know? And hey, whatever bike you ride, as long as you're out there riding, you're still lapping everyone on the couch. Okay, so just to be clear on that one. All right? I ain't gonna snob you because you got an S-Works cringe. Whatever bike you're gonna get, I'll give you a wave. Okay, I'm just saying. For people out there who want the best, I sell the best. Specialized made the best back in the day. SL3 was a good frame, except for that proprietary fork. SL1 was fantastic. That's probably the best bike Specialized ever made. BSA bottom bracket, standard taper fork, just 27.2, win. Everything was great on it. Good tire clearance. SL1 tarmac. I had one of those. I had a couple of those. Fantastic bike. Better than the SL7 by far. Do you know how that? I know that. Right, test ride then decide. Okay. Wow. But what else can we talk about? The Aethos. Where do we start? You know, 600 gram frame. Let's say the frame is super light. It is super light. If it's 550 or 650, either way, it is, in my opinion, too light, too fragile. We've had the trim weight from the frame and fork, the important parts, to make up for the extra dead weight we get from disc brakes. If you need disc brakes on a road bike, All right, 99% of people who ride disc road only ride in fair weather. You know, that's me included. If it's raining, it's raining. But if it's sunny, I'm riding. If I wake up and it's raining, I ain't riding. I'm jumping on my commuter bike with my rain jacket. I ain't gonna take my roadie out there. I'm just like, been there, done that. But I'm saying, like, you don't need disc brakes in a road bike, which I've done a zillion videos on. So we're saving the weight from the... It's so stupid. It's so stupid. There's lightweight frames. You know how they're going to break so easy if you crash them? And the Specialized are loving it because they're going to be like, we're going to sell so much more. These frames are so light. The dentist parks it wrong. The cat knocks it over. The top tube hits the corner of the door. Crack. Yeah? Insurance claim. It's just like, it's crazy. So these bikes are just like money makers, man. Money makers. They're super cheap to make because they're so lightweight, less material. If you're making 1,000 frames, 10,000 frames, that's so much more less material than you're using. It's like 30% less material. It's crazy. So they're too light. It's too light for durability with a crash, or you clamp it on something, or if you slip your pedal and you land on your top tube's got to crack or snap or pop. Snap, crackle, pop, rust bubble, Kellogg frame. That's what they are. So what are you doing making such a lightweight frame? People say, oh, Durianrider, your Pragma glycogen frames aren't the lightest. They're not purposely. I don't want to sell someone a frame that's going to snap because you jump a gear, you slip and land on the top tube and it pops. Or the bottom bracket area is so thin, you get a bit of chain suck and you snap your chainstay because it's so thin, because you're trying to save 200 grams or 300 grams of carbon fiber where it shouldn't be saved. And let's talk about that 310 gram claim weight fork, disc fork, road disc. That is just sheer stupidity, in my opinion. You got a 100 kilo barrister with jackal cycling experience, probably doing a keto diet, just like coming down the mountain, not even paying attention, pumped up with Adderall or whatever, TRT. He hits a big pothole. How durable that fork gonna be? How durable that fork gonna be? 310 grams. That's horrendous. Horrendous. I don't think, in my opinion, a disc road fork should be less than 400 grams. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Selling products so light. Hey, it's been tested. Like, I don't care about the tests. I want the real world tests. Look at all the fork recalls we have. Trek, Specialized, Giant even, BMC, Cannondale, where the forks were sold and passed QC, they went out there for a few years and then we had all these failures come through. Merida even. Like, manufacturers that buy from these OEM Chinese factories, because they don't make it themselves. Specialized don't make bikes. They sell bikes, okay? They buy, like I buy, from OEM manufacturers. And then they sell it to you. They buy the frames and parts and sell it on. And that's fine. But, and that is a stress. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, imagine being an engineer and it's like, well, we've got to shave out the fork tip to save 12 grams. And, like, you might be laying in bed at night going to your wife or your husband, like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if shaving out the fork tip to save 12 grams, baby, was a good idea. When the target audience of this bike's probably a 100 kilo barrister or the rich kid from North London. I don't know. And he's weighing about 60, 90 kilos because he's on SSRI meds. I don't know if 12 grams is a good goal to have on a carbon tip fork that's got a disc brake attached to the end of it. I've got to say it because no one else is going. You're not going to hear this from YouTube and anyone. People don't know or they don't care or they're getting paid by the brands to, like, hey, this is the new bike from Specialized and it's really lightweight and it's really, yeah. Oh my God, I'm just like, I'm about to puke. Give us some real marketing. Actually, that's some real marketing. Hang on, what did I just say? Marketing and truth. Pick one. Unless you're on my website. And that's what I do. I give people the ultimate truth, the honest truth. And that repels so many people. Because it's different to the narrative what you've been fed. And so when you've been fed lies and half-truths and marketing BS, that becomes your normal narrative. And then you come across my channel, you're like, who's this crazy Aussie guy? Swears a lot and he looks a bit weird. He smells like a durian. And then I'll tell you some stuff and you're like, ugh, you know? And if I was a 20-year-old Harley Duran rider, I probably would be like, who has Duran? You know? So I get it. It's easier to scam noobs than tell them they've been scammed. Now, if you go buy a Specialized Aethos bike, have you been scammed? No, you haven't been scammed. It's the best bike Specialized make of that high price tag. It is. It's better than the SL7. It's better than the Venge, the Cringe. It's better than all those bikes. It's lighter. It's faster. It's just going to feel nicer to ride. And I'll say largely down to that 1,286 gram wheelset, the Alpinist, which again, Chinese-made carbon rims. But again, look how many spokes is in that. Imagine this bike would be so good. This would be the best bike Specialized has ever sold. I shouldn't say Specialized has made, because they didn't make it. Someone in China did. This would be the best bike Specialized ever sold. The Aethos, if it was in rim brake. Imagine that. You know, how good would that be? That would be pretty cool. And make the fork about 350 grams. Just that little bit extra peace of mind. Just so I can just relax a bit, you know? Get the blood pressure down a bit, you know? But oh man, these skinny forks with a disc brake at the end of it. I'm just like, oh man. Like, it doesn't feel good. And I don't like recalls because there's so much wasted carbon out there that goes to landfill. You know, like, it's just such a resource waste, you know, thing. And again, with super light frames, you know, like, they break so easy. Yes, you can fix carbon. I can't get it, yeah. But I'm like, why? Like, let's educate the consumer. No, I'm all for giving people the truth. Look, you noob, you don't need a $400 casque helmet. Your jersey doesn't need to be $300. You don't need an $18,000 bike. Right? You get it if you want, but you don't need it. It's not going to make you faster. It's going to make you look more wank on Instagram. That's about it. All right? Give people the truth. Educate people. This person's on EPO. This person is on steroids. This person's a corrupt mofo. Just give people the truth. All right? Father Claus doesn't exist. Father Claus, Santa Claus. Like, well, I love to educate people, you know. Oh, man. This whole world is just like a big circus. It's crazy what's going on out there. Crazy. And I just, you know, cycling for me is that one little bubble of, like, peace and ethics and tranquility. You know, like drugs and stuff, but all sports like that's fine. Let them take drugs. Drugs shouldn't be illegal in pro sport. Let them take it so they can do it safely, get the right product, and not have the stress of getting busted and getting ditched by their sponsors, Specialized, Trek, Canal, etc. All these brands became big from sponsoring dopers. That's a fact. Right? Where would Specialized be without the guys and the girls? And same with Trek and Canal, etc. Where would they be? Right? Where would the performances be without good old Edgar EPO? Same with running, Nike, tennis, you know, Wilson. It's just how it is. It's fact. And wish the public knew about that. Drugs shouldn't be illegal for athletes. They're entertainers. Let's make it safer for them and say, tell the people the truth. Your favourite sporting hero is Juice to the Absolute Gills from 1901 to 2020 and beyond, okay? Drugs are part of the equation. Let's make it safe and educate the society so we can have a better society versus bullshitting people constantly. Like, it's insane. I've got a surgeon guy I used to ride with, and a great lad, but I was talking about drugs in sport, and he just could not handle the truth. And I'm like, this guy's a surgeon. He's like saving people's, he's like doing miracle work, working in that industry. And I said, man, it's all about drugs, you know? And he's just like, I just broke his fairy tale world. And I'm just like, what? This guy's a, you know, father, mid-40s, can't handle the truth about drugs in sport. So I get it. I push people away. We're doing the Aethos review. We're talking about drugs in sport. Drugs in sport. It shouldn't be called drugs in sport. It should be called what athletes take in real life to entertain you on TV and keep sponsors happy. You know, drugs in sport, like it's some bad thing or whatever. It's bad because people take shoddy product, you know, to fly under the radar and untested stuff and all this. You know, like, we should be testing drugs on prisoners, certain types of prisoners, test the side effects, etc. And then go, hey, this works. Why are we testing on animals? There's enough animals in prison. Let's test on them. Anyway, we digress. That's the deal. Specialized Aethos. It isn't 6 kilos. Someone on Velo News or whatever is writing on me. Hey guys, this is Specialized Aethos. This bike's 6 kilos, 5.9 kilos. Yeah, guys, you can get more information at velonews.com. Bullshit. Go to NorCal Cycling. The bike's 6.74 kilos, 56 centimeter SRAM red axis, which is like a 2.5 kilo hydro group set. All right, 6.74 kilo Durace pedals, 2 cages. Stop this 6 kilo nonsense, all right? Actual bike weight on the scales. NorCal Cycling, thank you very much. Oh man, this is insane. Anyway, I'm going to go stop the video now, lower my blood pressure, take my medication. Just kidding. Take my carbs. Chill out. Right? Just chill out, Harley. It's okay. The world's okay. It's not crashing. It definitely is.